So as a flatland BMX rider from the mid-2000s, it's been quite a few years since I stopped riding after a broken knee. I've been thinking about getting a 26-inch BMX, but the prices on these things were just astronomical. And then I started thinking about doing a conversion, and they're pretty popular on YouTube here, but the only problem is the proportions are just a little bit off when people take like a mountain bike and turn it into a BMX. So I got this girl's bike, actually. I believe it's like a 92, 93 Outfitters 26-inch. And it's a hardtail, hard nose, etc. And I think what I'm going to do is just with a little bit of chopping and welding, we can make this thing look really good as a 26-inch BMX. The first thing I'm doing before I dismantle it and cut it is I'm trying to figure out what gear I want it to be in. That way when it comes time to put the sprockets back on, I can put it in the right choice and not have a derailleur or anything. Now with that being said, this bike actually rides really good. It was just one of those little free finds, so that was quite nice. And the bike's actually in really good condition, which makes it all that much harder for me to cut it apart. I have a weird thing about taking something that's nice and original, even if it's worthless like this bike, and just chopping it up and welding it. I always get in the way of myself with that. So anyways, like I was saying, so this is a girl's bike, and a lot of those conversions that you see that are mountain bike to BMX, just all the proportions here are just kind of wrong. On a lot of them here, you'll see the top tube, and it goes all the way out here, and it's just so high above the tire, it just doesn't look right to me. So what I want to do is I want to take this top tube here, and I'm going to raise it up just about to here, and then I'm going to take the seat stays and bring them down to meet. And I think that should make a much better looking product. Something that looks like a BMX that's just bigger. And a little word of wisdom, before you cut anything apart, always check your wheel. Even if it has like the slightest little crack in it, I'll usually just crack it in half and fold it. That way if I don't throw it away, I at least know that it won't be good for the next use. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and put a new blade on this and start it cutting. And seriously guys, I was going to do this all for a skit, but I really had a hard time cutting into this. Like it took me 10 minutes of like circling around my shop going, nope, just can't do it. All right, let's do this for real this time. I hate cutting apart a perfectly fine thing. Whoa. Remember to tighten the wheel. So my first cut, I just kind of cut a V into that tube, not really caring about what's still on the seat tube. That'll be all ground off later, and now I got to cut off up here. But since I'm trying to build this for under 40 bucks, I'm going to go ahead and take a few of these pieces off and try to put them on eBay and maybe recoup $10 or $20 into this. These are Shimano, I guess, C50, if that means anything to anybody. I've always done BMX pretty much my whole life, so that's where my knowledge is. This stuff is all foreign to me, but hey, that's what eBay's for. We can put the stuff on, and people will determine how much it's worth and how much I'm going to put into this thing, which I'm really hoping is not going to be that much. I'm hoping to build this thing for about 40 to 50 bucks, so keeps the budget pretty low. That way, you could always find these kind of mountain bikes all the time, on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and they're usually free or 20 bucks, 30 bucks. And, with $40 or $50 invested, we're going to see how far we could push this and actually making a good product and having something that kind of resembles a BMX. Now, the other thing that I'm thinking about is putting a gyro on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if I should put a gyro on it. This is a 1-inch threaded headset, and I think I've got one more hollow stem bolt somewhere. So that would be really, really nice to run a gyro and have front brakes and all that stuff. Pretty cool for bar flips and whatnot. And I'm also contemplating if I want to make it resemble like an old school to mid school BMX, go something kind of radical with the colors, maybe gloss black and have some pink and lime green. And if I'm going to go that far, I might as well put a couple of pegs high up on the forks, kind of like my old 1987 Diamondback Hot Streak. I think that would be really, really cool. Maybe even foldable pegs. So with all of our parts that we might keep inside a box, I'm going to go ahead and just stow this away and carry on with the cutting. And I did decide to put the handlebars back on. Just gives me something to grab the bike with and push the bike around with. And back to the cutting we go. Hooray! And with a little bit of quick grinding out with a reamer, we got a pretty good tube here that's all notched out. And I think this is about where the tube's going to go. Somewhere right about there. And I think that just looks pretty darn good. And you might have seen that I flipped the top tube over. It has those little bosses onto the tube, and I really wanted to see the steel cable, and I just think that looks kind of cool. So don't know if it's right, wrong, but it's something I wanted to do. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and just grind up the metal here, give everything a nice fresh piece for me to weld onto. And I will be painting the bike, of course, in the future here very shortly, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just tack weld everything into place. And then in the next part here, I'm going to take the seat stays and bring them down to meet the top tube. So for now, we're going to go ahead and bust out the welder and get the top tube tacked in and see how we like how it looks. Oh my gosh. I didn't give you fair warning. Sorry about your eyes. Well, why don't you guys go ahead and just look away while I go ahead and finish this all up. Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, guys, I appreciate you taking your time to watch this and see the little progress. Not as much progress as I was hoping for, but I figured I'd at least plant the seed and put the video out there and, you know, have something kind of cool to show you guys. Anyways, I'll have the next part here in the next couple days, and I'm really hoping to have this thing finished up so we can be cruising by the weekend. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.